Guys, welcome. Ladies, welcome. It's such an honor to be here with you today on this crazy, crazy ride. Trying to figure out why markets do what they do and when they do what they do. We're going to try to parse it all out here together. My name is Michael. I'm the founder of the company. We've been around here for about 15 years. And I'm probably the only person that will tell you markets are predictable. They can be forecasted accurately. And when people hear that, I get laughing emojis. I get mocking. I had one guy make fun of me so badly today on a trading forum when I posted the chart that the moderator threatened to have him banned. He was that close to the banning policy in lampooning me for the snake oil salesman that I was. And so I would challenge you today, as we kind of go through this together, see if you think I'm a snake oil salesman. I turn the air conditioner off in here. By the end of all of this. And I just ask you to keep an open mind. I believe markets are rigged. I believe that the news events that come out are not surprises. The results of these things like GDP and unemployment and trade imbalances and housing are all numbers that used to mean something, probably don't anymore. And whether or not they do or don't, the people who control markets know those numbers weeks, maybe even months before we get them in some instances. I believe those people manipulate news and social media, and their CEOs say things which generally are the opposite of what's about to happen. Jamie Dimon says, there's a big recession coming. Americans spend way too much. Watch the market go up another $200. And then when that same guy wheels his fat ass out in front of the cameras again and says, I think we're going to have a soft landing, watch the markets turn around and fall $500. They are liars, they are thieves, they are manipulators of the kind of which orders of magnitude more than anyone you've ever met describe. We're looking at the E-mini S&P daily chart here today, and we're basically following along with the notes that we've been making for a few weeks now. The last signal we had that I've published into the E-mini S&P Facebook groups was a signal on September 25th. And Sally, I'd warned people there that we were expecting a move down from September 25th until Monday, October 2nd. And from the closing price of that day, we went up a whopping $2.25 before we fell. Get ready for this. We fell about $100 straight down off of that signal. And so this is an example of the program that we're discussing here today. This is the Tachyon warp indicator for Ninjatrader 8. And there are three parts to this chart, and we're going to look at several different markets and timeframes and things along those lines that communicate the plans of the evil emperors of trading to us long before we arrive at those moments. It's a predictive tool, which means, Sally, over here, John, that signal at October 2nd is the next buying pressure signal. And so, John, we can collectively look backwards and see what happened when we were waiting for a buying signal in the past. So everything to the left of our dotted white line there on the bottom of our histogram is a forecast where we were waiting for something. And Sally, if we kind of work it from left to right here, we can get a sense of what those buying signals produced over the last 9 or 10 of those signals, right? Right up to and including the last one here between September 21st and the 25th. John, there's a reasonable assertion that when we arrive on the close of Monday, October 2nd, we'll see bullish behavior based on what the predictions have done historically over time. Does that make sense? Everything to the left of this white line down here was a prediction we were waiting for, and the dot marks the event. Now, the cool part is everything to the right of that line is a warning of sorts. Now, it's not a proprietary black box thing. It's not generated from the bowels of my guru brain. It's based on sort of the seasonality, the most recent behavior patterns of the banks themselves. Time is their downfall. You see, they can hide behind volume, they can spoof markets, they have dark pools, they have all sorts of stuff. But when they move the market is their Achilles heel. And you're going to see here in a little while how we can take advantage of that. So on the E-mini S&P, we're coming into October 2nd. We kind of had a stall down here today. Friday's a really big deal, and I'm going to show you why in a second. Moving back into SPY, I also posted this into the stocks and options groups earlier today. The buying signal also appeared on September 21st into October 2nd, which is also a selling time on SPY. In that post, I mentioned that the last time we touched the stop line was back in April. And you'll notice, John, that the same thing is happening over here. Generally, these really deep pushes down are grabs for liquidity. And Sally, what I'm watching for is where are the stops to the left of this signal? There's a prior swing low here. John, there's a prior swing low there. And Earl, can you see those shenanigans where they push down right below that, tripping out all the stops? I live for those moments. And so I honestly believe SPY is going to be back up into the 430s before the close of Monday on the 2nd because of that. In the same way that they reached down to grab liquidity on April 21st, broke through that stop, and then drove prices up before the next signal. That's SPY. If we come over and look at Apple, you'll see that the same thing is sort of happening. And John, Sally, I'm going to show you there is 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces from that moment right there. And there's actually a structural high right here that they've kind of dipped down into today. And again, it's another one of those instances where you can see they did it on the 4th, Earl, over here. They were starting to push up. Whoa, hello. We'll come back. They were starting to push up. Then they came all the way down to here. Watch, from the close of that day, they came down to here before they moved up. And now, John and Sally, you'll see they've moved that exact same distance down, more or less, right, Earl? So if you're a stock trader or an options trader, we've effectively moved the same stop run distance down. It was $6 back in August, and here it's been 7.5. And so from that point forward, Apple rallied $18 to the high side. So there's a chance over here now for a possible move up into 185 when some mysterious Fed announcement will be made. They'll find gold under the White House in a giant cavern. There's always a surprise announcement that occurs. And if we follow this channel that's been put in place kind of here, I think that more accurately describes it. We've just sort of touched the base of it right there. Again, Sally, there's the current time in the timeline. If it's a karaoke song, this is where we're singing right now. These are the words in the future, right? Don't stop believing. That's where we are right now. And then over here is separate ways, right? Here we stand, worlds apart, hearts broken in two. New words to the right. This is where we are right now. This is the song we just sang. Come to you with open arms. Past, present, future. Whew. There's some cool things that are going on in the ES on a 60-minute time frame. We're going to talk about that. We can look at intraday levels. We can look at daily levels, weekly levels. We have been falling for quite some time on the ES here, the last little run. And we can look to see to the right where the next prospective movements are. And so we'll talk a little bit about what these patterns mean and what these little white arrows are telling us. But when the trend is moving down, Earl, as you know, we're generally selling at the times where the banks are expected to sell. And so in this case, at 12 o'clock yesterday, we had a pattern 4, so we were looking for an upward move. The next sell time is probably 6 a.m. on Monday morning when we come around. These are all Eastern Daylight Times on this chart. So this pattern 4 right here at the bottom is a very important signal for us and the reaction that we had off of it. And we're going to talk about the patterns in a moment. If you're a cryptocurrency trader, the close of today was a very important day for us because on this chart, 9/28, September 28 was a selling signal. And the selling signal was warning us to look for potentially larger movements down. On Bitcoin, we had a selling pressure signal on June 24th. We had one on July 13th. We had one on July 26th. And then we were one day off here. I was so mad. It was August 28th. It ended up being the push down on August 29th. I wonder if that's going to happen again. So today into tomorrow, we're going to watch for another downward move back into the lows. That move extends down until October 19th on the cryptocurrency for Bitcoin. So we can use the instruments across a wide range of instrument classes. In this case, I've been posting signals in the forex groups now for a long time. The last signal I posted was on September 13th, Sally, and I can take you to the Facebook pages if you want to see them, but I hope by now I've earned a little bit of trust. And so we were waiting for a selling pressure signal on September 13th, and I was telling people to short the mid band of that channel, sort of working its way down. And it doesn't take an optometrist to see kind of how far it's fallen. And we know when the move is supposed to stop. John, do you see over here on the right? Nilesh, do you see on the right what's coming in on October 5th? It's another buying pressure signal where the move will either stop going down and consolidate or potentially even retrace, right? Could potentially even retrace. You want to look at Meta, you said? Good old Mr. Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg. He's all jacked up now. He's doing mixed martial arts and calling people out onto the floor. And he's like, hey, we should wrestle. And Elon Musk is like, I'm too busy fathering children with employees. I don't have time to wrestle you. So here's Meta on the daily chart. All we got to do is pull it up. It's really easy. And we can see that we're in a buying signal right now. And that lasts until October 6th. So the only thing that worries me about Meta right now is this signal right here. Nilesh, can you see where we broke that buying dot right there? It hit a buying stop. And what that tells me is that when the banks had an opportunity to drive it higher, it should have finished higher than it started, and it didn't. right? We had a buying signal here, we had a selling signal here, and now we're just kind of wish-washing around. You see what I'm talking about there? So the minute you see a buy stop hit, you have to think to yourself, what does that mean? It means that the guys who sit in the mahogany desk room with their 1% cigars, laughing at the rest of us, wiping their rear ends with $100 bills, it was time for them to go higher, and they didn't. They haven't put any cash into that market. Now, does that mean Meta's hit its high right here and we're going down? Maybe. And so I start to look for things like that shoulder and maybe this head right here, right? And maybe we're putting in another shoulder on the right side. So I would be paying, because of this, I would be paying very close attention to October 6th. Does that make sense, Nilesh? Yeah. What I'll do on the chart, and I showed you this on the 60-minute ES, we'll go back to it. I basically say right here, the trend is over. There's an old country song. It sounds like this. Turn out the lights. The party's over. The party's over right here. And we saw something very similar on the ES 60-minute chart. So check this out. Ready? Nilesh, do you see when that happened right here? No white stop hit. Not hit, not hit, not hit, not hit, not hit, not hit, not hit. Ooh. And right there, we had a chance to short the market with puts if you're an options trader with a stop just above the high. And you'll see sort of that was our risk. And right now it's moved 1, 2, almost 3 of those values down from that. And so on Meta, that's exactly what we're seeing taking place over there. The fact that it's clawing up, be careful is all I'm saying right here. Yep, so we can look at Meta that way too. But good question. So the software is telling us what should be the target. Oh, okay. So if we come into the tool, there's an advanced technique that we can use. Every time signal generates a resistance level. Gann talked about this way back. We're going to go infinite. We'll hit OK and see what that looks like. Wow! So right here, Nilesh, because of today's close, I'm inclined to believe that we're moving back towards 312.64. Now, Nilesh, this is not Edward Jones. I am not a certified trading advisor. I'm not here to give you free calls. We're on that dangerous precipice where I start to feel taken advantage of. So we're going to be moving forward a little further into the theory. I want you to understand how the program works, and here's a secret. I would love for you to buy it too. But I'm going to educate you in the beginning so that you know that I'm not a slick sales guy. Okay, so yeah, we could definitely look for the upside. The resistance levels right now, we'll go the full Monty, right? I took you on the date. I might as well buy the lobster. We've already closed above the first resistance level at 302.39. If we use some advanced techniques, I could tell you that the next place we're going is the halfway point, which is 307.49. You'll see there's been resistance there before. And if we close above that, we're going to 312.66 before October 6th. Pretty cool stuff, right? Woohoo! Now, the software has been around for 15 years. We have close to 5,000 customers, every major market of the world. Our Trustpilot rating borders somewhere between 4.5 out of 5 and 4.9 out of 5 most days of the week. Those Trustpilot reviews are with actual traders and customers who've sat in the same webinar you've sat in today, asking the same questions that John and Sally and Bala and Nilesh are asking. And so there's something very different about what we do here, because it's hard to convince people that this is happening. And there's a very particular way that we'll convince people. We give them the times and directions that the market is potentially going to move in the future. And if you've been taking the trial on our website, on the homepage, you've had access to those histograms, right? So when we come back, we're looking to see if the signals that we published for you guys actually worked. Okay, so we send those out to you. They're available every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday pass. And then Thursday after, we get together to see what the crap actually happened. So on Wednesday for gold, the times that we gave out, Sally, were these. You can go back and reference the webpage if you want, and you'll see that these were the times that we were waiting for movements to occur in gold futures. So John, ordinarily, all of these times on the bottom are times where we're expecting buying pressure. They're here because for the last several weeks at those times, the banks have consistently pushed higher. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. All of these times are the times where the banks have been pushing lower. Okay, over and over and over again, there's a behavior pattern that emerges. And if you've been following along in the training links to the free times that I give out, I teach a trading system. We're going to go over it here just so you understand. When the 120 period moving average is an exponential moving average is falling, I filter the signals. I'm a seller. Even if I have a long bias on the trigger time frame, if that moving average is falling, catch me, I'm falling, I'm looking at the blue signals for shorts. So John, we're going to focus on those first yesterday. And you'll see from the London Open to the US lunchtime, here's what I would have done. I would go short at 440 and exit by the 515 signal. I would go short at 640 and exit by the 750 signal. I would go short at 825 and exit by the 835 signal. I'm using the opposite time as an exit point. I would short at 9:55 and I would hit my stop. I would short at 11 o'clock and be done by 12 o'clock. And so that would be the culmination of those trades. There's another trade that I talk about in those training videos called a puncture. And we alluded to that with Nilesh's meta chart. When I go through the buy stop line, it is a failure with trend. A failure with trend. The buyers who were supposed to show up didn't. It's like going to play softball on your company's softball league and you show up and no one's there, right? It's like a forfeit. And so I sell when it punctures the stop line. I have a sell stop just on the other side of here and I exit by 825. My stop would go just above the puncture candle. There's another instance of that here. It's a failure with trend. I enter on the other side of the white line and I get out by 9:55. Bala, it happens one more time right here to right there, right? Punctures. So these are the winners with the trend. These are the losers with the trend. We're looking for signals in the direction of the trend, and we're looking for failures with trend. That can be pretty cool, right? And so as we go back in time, we see there's sort of this very clear picture, right, John, of what would I have done at 8:15 in the afternoon, in the evening here? I would have gone short. What would I have done at 8:20? I would have gone short. What would I have done when it came under the white line? I would have gone short. And so knowing when the trade is coming, even in the evening hours of the US East Coast, this is when people are having dinner and watching Netflix. You could be sitting at your computer seeing, hey, this is one of those times where they're probably going to push lower. So coming into today, John, do you see what we might have done with the gold signals? Right here, we come through that white line by one tick where the order is, and I'm short until 10:55. Now at 10:55, I'm short, and I can get out here, or I can hold it until this time, right? So $1.60, $2.80. The next time is at 110, $1.70. And then Bala, look, this is the first time we hit our blue stop, right? And pursuant to what I showed Nilesh earlier, the first time the blue stop is hit is now a potential what? Trend reversal signal. So the time can tell us the trend is reversing long before the moving average. So as soon as that stop is hit, I can now take permission or have permission to go long 220 until 245. And now right now we're up a few ticks on that move right there. Any questions about this? These were the times that were handed out 2 days ago to those of you taking that trial on the website. Looking at crude futures, man, that's a pretty good sign for us, those of us driving internal combustion engines, right, before everyone from the California legislature gets out our way. Those of you that still have a car that goes vroom vroom, there's some relatively good news since we stopped fighting war for the Saudi Arabians. Prices are starting to come down a little bit, maybe not as low as they need to, but they're still dropping. So using the times that I gave you on Tuesday, there's some really interesting things that are happening. Remember, I'm the snake oil salesman and none of this is supposed to work. Look what happened at 624, at 709, and 733. Look what happened at 906. We're off one bar, 1016, 1036, 1057, 1124, and then a failure of the 1151 signal. Look what's happening at 1215 and 142 and 242 with a failure of the 1254 signal. Sally, what kind of predictive signal company would I be if you couldn't scroll to the right and see the future signals? That would be the suckiest prediction future call company in the world. Of course you can. Watch. How far do you want to see in the future? Here's Friday, and then here's Sunday night and Monday. Not a good one. Not a good one. Now, I want you to remember, I'm going to shove this in your respective virtual faces. Sally, I happen to be a really good one. The best. Find another trading company or education company that has a 4.8 out of 5. I dare you. And then come back to me with your accusations. I feel like I'm under the microscope with you, Ms. Hill. Come on. Yeah, you can always see them in the future. That's the name of our company, Back to the Future. This indicator is the Sports Almanac that Michael J. Fox takes back from the future to place bets on, and very sloppily gives the almanac to Biff, who uses it to build his kingdom and his fortune and ends up killing his father and almost kills Marty, if not for the exploits of Doc, who brings the DeLorean to the side of the building that Marty jumps off of. Maybe not the best of the trilogy, but still a pretty good movie. What are we going to do in CL? Well, you've had the times now since Tuesday. You understand, Sally, I gave everyone these times 2 days ago. You got that part, right? Everyone's had access to these times for 2 days. Nothing here happened in real time. We're just reviewing the future forecasts from then. No, not even via Facebook. Now I have to show you. I got to log in and do it myself because you don't believe me. Stand by. Give me 1 second. Here it is. So, yeah, this is a point that I really need to make. Stand by with me, would you, really quick. When people go to the website, they take the video demo. They get access for a month for the upcoming signals for that week. And so there's a web page that looks like this. Stand by. Sorry, maybe we needed a good pause. I was getting out of hand. I was getting too excited. So Sally, they've had access to this page right here. Thank you for participating in our test of these powerful tools. Below are the market forecasts using Tachyon TimeWarp for Wednesday and Thursday. Sally, that page has been live since Tuesday. So when I'm showing you the gold signals, since Tuesday, these maps, that map for oil was up on Tuesday. You with me? Not just Facebook. For oil, for gold, for the Dow, for the E-mini NASDAQ, for the E-mini S&P, for Bitcoin futures, for the Euro currency futures, for the DAX, all sorts of stuff. And now 2 days later, when we got here with the trading system, of course it works for micro E-minis. Works for anything you have a data feed for. If there were Michael Jordan futures for sneakers, it would work on that. Any market the banks can manipulate. So over here, Sally, watch. We're going to get in, we're going to get out. $130. We're going to get in, we're going to get out. $170. We're going to get in, we're going to get out. $26. Well, how long do I stay in the trade? We get in, we get out. $51. We get in, we get out. $230. Not above the moving average, comes above the moving average, actually hits my stop, we lose $260. We get in, we get out. These are just the signals with trend. We get in, we get out. 40, 60, 110, 130, 140, $150. That's $1,500 minus 260. That's $1,250 just with the signals with trend on oil. And then, like you said, here are the signals for tomorrow and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday of next week. And as we go backwards, could we have taken advantage if we were up last night instead of watching a documentary on Netflix about who killed who? Could we have been long at 8 o'clock and gotten out by 8:30 and made $500? Sure. And so over and over, you just see pictures. Sally, this was Wednesday. that I gave the times out for in advance. Could we have bought here and sold here and bought here and sold here and bought here and sold here, bought here and sold here, bought here and sold here, bought here and sold here yesterday with the 3-minute crude times, just taking signals in the direction of the trend, with times that I gave about 18,000 people 2 days ago, and a signal that I taught them on the very same page. We'll be showing how the signals can be traded using one of two simple entry rules called the signal with trend or the puncture trade. This video describes exactly what Michael will be showing you on Thursday. Oh! Can the times be adjusted? In what sense? How do you want to adjust them? Meaning having them show up a little early or a little late? Or changing? Oh yeah. Watch. What do you want? Here's a 5-minute. Here's a 15-minute. Get rid of my drawing tools, right? Did the accuracy change much when I changed the time frame, Sally? Or does it just look like a bigger chart? Yeah, it's cleaner. Some people don't like the small time frames, and that's fine. I have customers trading 15-second charts with the tool, and that's fine too. All God's children are special little snowflakes. But Sally, you probably would be the person in here on the micro oil, long from here to here, long from here to here, long from here to here. Stopped out there. Nilesh goes, that's a trend reversal. And you'd be right. Short from here to here with a small loss. Failure with trend right there. Also, there was a trend signal here, puncture that hit the stop. So you can, of course, use this on a higher time frame, and it looks cleaner to you, and that's fine. Most customers are usually in the intraday range, somewhere on the 3 to 5 minute side of things. So that's why I give those times out. And then again, we can go all the way out to a daily, right? Or even a weekly. It's going to take a second for the data to load. I'm loading a lot of days right now. Any other questions? The times are appearing on Eastern Daylight Savings Time because my computer is set to Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So Sally, here's the daily chart for oil, right? You see the signals coming up to the right? The last signal for oil on a daily time frame was September 25th. The one before that with trend was August 28th, and the one before that, Sally, was July 18th. So if you use the same system I taught you on the 3-minute chart, look, in, out, $7,380. In, out, $10,610. In, and you're presently up $2,010. John asked a really great question that really, quite honestly, gets on my nerves. You're kind of bothering me right now, John, I'll be honest with you. Not because of your question, but because you represent a personality I aspire to. So John's saying, hey, and consequently, John, what I'm describing is what some of our most profitable customers do. So you're definitely on the ball here. John says, hey, if I got a signal here and I make it all the way down to there and I didn't hit my stop and I'm in the money, what they'll do, these maniacs who have total emotional control, these genetic wonder boys and wonder girls, what they'll do, John, is they'll watch the price, and then when they see that, they're trailing the entire way down. And so, John, once you see that puncture, you're now waiting from here to here to see if it goes even lower. And then when it got there, they'll move their stop above that stop line in the hopes that it continues going down. And so the people who do that are generally called weirdos. And I totally respect it. But no, it's absolutely normal to do that. And some of my best performing customers can hold. I have, confession time, ready? This is like they do on the reality TV shows. I have a hard time staying focused for long stretches of time. The world, to me, is the opening sequence of that TV show, Reading Rainbow or Electric Company. I was raised with that, right? You got Count Chocula teaching you how to count 1, 2, 3, ha ha ha, and then Cookie Monster showing you some stuff. Then Big Bird and Snuffleupagus are kind of exploring their sexuality with each other, which confused me for a long time. Bert and Ernie too. There's a lot going on there, but now's not the day we push deeper into that. We're looking at trading, right? So for me, it's a 1 minute NASDAQ chart, and I'm in and out. I'm in and out in between these signals because it's hard for me to stay charged and focused. But you could 100% have gotten in and stayed in and held it. The point, yes, Sally says, stay on topic. Sally, here's the point. Can you see how far into the future those signals are projecting on the 1 day oil chart? December, right? That's 3 months from now about. That means, Sally, that we were waiting for these signals for 3 months at least. The banks were waiting for 3 months for that, for that, for that, for this, and for that. Okay. Sally, how many fingers am I holding up? Are you looking over here? I'm pretty sure I covered this. You see 12/14, 12/12, 12/27, January 15th. Look, I even have more signals. January 22nd. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to whisper so it gets in there. It's going to feel weird for a second, but trust me, this works. You can see the times in the future, and they're as accurate as what's on the charts today. There's as good a chance January 15th that oil's going to trade high until January 22nd, when it's going to stop and maybe even go down. The banks had a plan. The banks had a plan. Okay, now stay with me, ready? Because on the Facebook pages, I'll answer that question here in a second. On the Facebook pages, Sally, I made this post September 13th, 2 weeks ago. I made this post 3 weeks before that, and I made that post back in August. You with me? Most people bought because of the call I made August 14th in Apple and the call I made July 26th. And then I had the gall weeks in advance to tell them that Apple was going to drop on September 5th. And a bunch of you maniacs went up and loaded on puts. And some of you are customers here today because I told you in advance, don't buy. You're going to get hammered. And people did. And they got hammered. And I've been telling people here, don't short it. This is a bad area to look for puts right now. October 6th is your time. But Sally, look, way over here. There's a schedule. Oh my gosh. There's a schedule of times waiting in the future. Does that make sense? Christmas, January 11th, January 19th. How can we possibly know that far in the future? Because banks can't hide their time patterns. They can't do it. Time is immutable. Anyway, where did I have that chart? Was it over here? Yeah. The question of charting platforms is a sticky one. Can ES exclusively, I'm your Huckleberry. This is used most by customers who are trading the E-mini S&P because you maniacs are everywhere. The ES club is strong. Where did I have those signals? Oh, it's on the other chart. But for example, what time frame do you trade the ES? What size bar? Ninjatrader, unfortunately, is the only platform that allows us to project future times onto the right side of the chart. Yeah, John, I showed the euro US dollar like a bunch of times here a little while ago. Did you come late? I bet you came late. Yeah. Oh no, cool. Well, then we'll go back in the time machine here in 1 second. Stand by. Yeah, so here's the 3 minute. We can go all the way down to the 1 minute, which you're saying you're trading. And John, you see how it's the same thing? I can load it on a volume chart and a tick chart too. I just don't want to blow up my PC right now. But John, you'll be able to see, I know it's a minor inconvenience to get Ninja loaded. Yeah, no, John, that's cool. We'll take a look at it. Our first customers were forex traders, and so mad respect for you guys. But yeah, John, stand by. But Ken, can you see how it's working here? And again, just like Sally said, just like Ronnie said, be my little baby. We can see the times coming up to the right. This will work on tick charts too. I just don't want to load up all that data during the webinar. GoToMeeting is punitive in that respect. So we're going to have to get you over to the other platform. Ninja is free for charting. We just got to get data into it. If you have a TD Ameritrade account or a TDA or an IB account, you can plug the data in from those platforms to it, or you can get a third-party data source. I think it's like $70 a month through Kinetic. Yeah, so going back on the 1 minute chart and the 5 minute chart, we're seeing those same kind of signals, right? This morning, John, right when they were getting ready to crucify everybody and they broke through the stops. You see that right there? That was after that report this morning, right? Right after the open, there's all this shenanigan, and then they break through all the stops at 9:34, and woo! And where do they stop? Woo! This one kind of teeters for a while, it fails. Where do they drop it again? 10:23. You knew that was coming. You knew the next time they were pushing up was 10:33. Yep. The next sell signal was at 10:47. They consolidate, and then they go higher into 11:10, and then they drop back down again, Ken, into 11:24 Eastern. I'm telling you, and these times, they're predicted. They're not guru generated. They're not black box. They're based on the times lately that the banks are pushing up and down. And nobody believes this is real. And everybody loses money. Going back to the euro US dollar, I just want to cover that from my new buddy over here. This is on the daily chart. This was the daily chart. John, I'll get rid of my drawings for you. I'm sure you don't appreciate them. And so the next signal is October 5th, October 23rd, November 1st, November 2nd. There's a potential choppy area coming into there because the signals are so close together. Yeah, so, but we're not restricted to the daily. We can come down to the 60, right? We can come down to the 15. Depends on whatever time frame you're trading. Most Forex guys are trading kind of 15 to 60. And some of you get way down in the mud. You'll come all the way down to the 5-minute level. John, what's bananas about that chart? And Sally, this speaks to what I said to you earlier today. I gave the times for this chart on Tuesday for today. Let's see if it's here. So Sally, do you see this chart? This has been available publicly since Tuesday. And look at what happened at those times today. Bala, this is a sales presentation for people who don't have the software. I try to keep the webinars tight for that as a result, but because you are my favorite pain in the patootie, you are that little kid and you ask why. We can't go to the store today, it's raining. Why? Well, when moisture is absorbed into the atmosphere, it condenses into cloud vapors. Why? Well, because the atmosphere is cooler than the earth and that's where the water condenses. Why? That was Bala. Bala, can you see the situation? Can you see where we're headed and why? Yeah. What's this pattern right here? Those of you that are candlestick pattern people, what is going on right here, right now? Somebody tell me you get a gold star. Why are Morningstar patterns showing up after the stop run of the NQ when everybody was convinced the apocalypse was coming? Honey, call Murray, Millie Silverstein, let him know that we want out. Take all your grandma's money. Tell him I want it in cash. He says there's a 30% tax because we're pulling out early. Just tell him to take it out. I'm scared. No, it's a stop run. It's a liquidity grab. The banks want everyone panicked and everyone is selling except our customers. When's the time to sell? October 2nd, if it's in the direction of the trend. All of these times were known about months before we got here. All of these times were known about months before we got here. Sally, all of these times were known months before we got there. George, I've been showing, Ulis, I've been showing losing trades the entire time. That's been the plan for the NASDAQ. So George, right here, if you were short January 9th, you lost money because it was higher, $500, right? If you were short on March 9th, you hit the stop, right? But then on the other side of things, right? If you took the puncture here, you finished higher and you made 362. If you bought here, you made 267. If you bought here, you made 604. If you bought here, you made 725. And if you bought here, you made 500 again. And if you bought here, you made 552. And right now, George, you are break even. Yeah. Generally, with a trend trading system, Ulis, generally speaking, with a trend trading system, there's a 55% profitability and a 1.5 to 2.0 profit factor. I guess profitability, we can use the same word, expectancy, which means, George, if we take trend signals like this, we're going to lose 40% of the time, we're going to win 55% of the time, but we're going to make almost double what we risk. Does that make sense? Is your name George or Ulis? Did you put first name last and last name first? I never know anymore. Parents got creative. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I got people who fill the forms out with like Mickey Mouse, you know, and Tony Stark. It's really fun when you're on my side of the microphone some days. A, B, C, D, E, F. Like, really? That person, Sally, couldn't even write a fake name. They were just, or A, S, D, F, H, J, K, L, whatever their fingers were on the keyboard. You can't muster the emotional creativity to at least make your hackery entertaining. So Ulis, when I teach a trading system like that with trend, it's generally that, and that's been pretty constant. We had a customer send me a back test that he did 2 years ago of the same strategy on the ES. Let me show you here. I think it's over here. Here we go. So Ulis, the customer traded, exactly, Earl. The customer traded all of the, or tested all of the signals in the Globex session. So all of the trades, over 1,000 executions from Sunday night's open till Friday afternoon's close. And Ulis, you see right here where it says 54%. Let me blow it up. That's what she said. Zoom 200%. It was 54% win with a 1.5 profit factor. Every signal, the entire time the markets were open. If you traded during the London session, it was 53% with a profit factor of 1.3. If you traded during the Asian session, it was 1.8 and 56%. If you excluded like Thursdays, it started to get really profitable. Thursdays were a bad day to trade the ES 3-minute chart. And so this was back in 2020, and we're seeing those same type of results here today, right? So it's pretty constant. The banks only have 1 or 2 playbooks with this stuff. And so there are losers for sure, 100%. So George, if, Ulis rather, if you were long here and it hit the stop, you lost $7.40. You could re-enter when it came back right here, and it would have hit the stop on SPY there. Then enter here, and there's a profitable trade. Enter here, there's a profitable trade. Enter here, there's a profitable trade. Enter here, there's a profitable trade. So again, about 45% losers, 55% winners, and we're making about double what we lose. Yeah, this is not one of those webinars where I say, you've seen these pictures before, right? There's a guy, right, and he's got this picture, and he says, Ulis, I'm going to show you my trade secrets. And pretty soon you're going to have pretty women following you around through the lobby. And then you got the guy who's like, I trade from all over the world, just my laptop and me and my 97% profitable strategy. Yeah. Right? I look at the programs some of you knuckleheads buy, and I look at the web pages that you bought it from, right? And there's there's the guru. I'm going to show you my 3-step trading system that has a 97% success rate, trades automatically in any market. Look at my Ferrari. I'm not that guy. There are losses in trading. We're providing an edge, right? But the edge is predictable. We can see it coming in the future. We know when the signals are coming. And it's based on a world belief that the markets are rigged, whether it's the 5-minute chart on the Euro US dollar or the daily. I believe that JP Morgan and Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank and Bank of America and who's the other big player now? Wells Fargo, when they were around doing their shenanigans with the mortgage crises, every time there's a big PPP loan or anytime there's a loan with a number of letters attached to it, TARP, PPP, it means you're about to get screwed. That's what it means. You find out like days later that Kevin O'Leary's company got like $5 trillion, or who's the big quarterback that everybody loves who just retired? His company got like $5 million. You're like, really? And the guy across the street who's got an apple cider stand went out of business. This chart represents the absolute worst parts of humanity. But these are the rules that the people you're playing with abide by. These are the rules that the banks abide by. They pay $1 in fines for every $3 they earn. Say what now? Said Sally. They pay $1 in fines for every $3 they earn. That's a pretty good gig if you can get it. That's like walking into Walmart and stealing 3 TVs, and John, they let you keep one every time. All right, well, just don't take all 3. Give me one. You guess? Any questions about this? Because it's basically, no, I understand. I understand. This is what I believe, and this is what the customers who've done well with us believe. You can't win if you play fair. The best you can hope for is to track the people who are actually moving the markets. This is how most of the customers, before they get our stuff, trade. My MACD says there's divergence and it has to go up right here. My delta shows more buyers than sellers inside of this bar. Yeah, we don't actually report volume accurately. It's called spoofing, so that's not going to work. And they get all upset when they hit their stops and go right in the other direction. This is how our customers trade. Hey, yellow car, when you go really fast, I'm going to sneak up behind you and let your draft pull my car into the wind. It'll use less fuel and I'll go faster. I don't like that at all. Can I stop you from doing it? No. When you go long, I go long. When you short, I will short. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. Your profits will be my profits. That's what our customers do. Any questions about this or any of the other enlightening, entertaining shenanigans that I have perpetrated on you today? Because here's the good news. You can have it. You can have it. If you go to our website, the program that we're talking about, the Ninjatrader indicator that I've been showing you, is our flagship product. It's called Tachyon Warp. Tachyon is a combination of 2 nerd words. Tachyon with a Y is a theoretical particle in physics which can travel theoretically forwards and backwards in time. If you're a Trekkie, you've heard that word before. Eon describes an endless age. And so these programs represent tools that move backwards and forwards in time endlessly. We've been doing this for 15 years. You'd have thought our reviews would have crumbled by now, and they're not. They're as strong or stronger than they've ever been. No, I know, Bala, why you asked for it. It's a little confusing to me too. I think that signal might be a pattern 4 tomorrow or Monday, and then a reversal up. But I won't know till we get there. So when you get to this page, this is the one that everyone buys. It's the starter tool in the sequence, left to right. That's the one that we're going to focus on here today. You kind of need that one to play ball and start using these tools. So I'm going to paste this link into your GoToWebinar chat box right here. Everybody see that link on their side of things? This hairless gorilla in the picture, you know that's me right now. And at the very bottom of the page is a golden Willy Wonka ticket. It says buy now. Do not pay full price, please. My wife will be very upset with you. When you click on the orange button, there's this annoying thing that pops up. We have a trading room. It's run by my partner or one of our longest term customers, a gentleman named Colin. And Colin trades with his own money. And Colin uses the signals. And if you just want to sit there and watch Colin and maybe even shadow trade him, you can do that and see the same signals he's using on his chart. Some of you need a little hand holding in the beginning, and that option is available for you. Others of you, like John, you're a little out of the curve. You're a little off to the right. Maybe you like to do your own thing, right? You walk to the beat of your own drum. That's cool too. You don't have to add it, but it's available to you. It meets 8 to 12 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They look at the E-mini S&P, oil, gold, a few other markets too. And they trade those intraday. If you say, these boots are made for walking, I don't need that, don't get it. I don't care. It's there if you need it. There's a purchase agreement. There's a lot of stuff in here. You should read all of it. One of the things I want to highlight, if you're a grumpy bug and you like to use all capital letters and exclamation points in your texts and emails and berate the people that work with us, we're not going to get along. We are fun to work with. We're very responsive. And we understand that you might have questions. Do not get the software and 2 minutes later write me the Magna Carta and how you're going to call the SEC and Joe Biden and Trump and launch F-16 strike attacks on my house. Calm down. It's okay. You can call me till 11 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock in the morning. Call me on the weekends. There's 5 of us here you can call. Please be nice. Make sure you have a computer that works. If you tried to load this on a Commodore 64 or an Amiga, it is not going to run. If you have a computer that has been purchased in the last 5 years or so, you're going to be fine. You want to have at least 8 gigabytes of RAM. The minimum is 2. 8's kind of the edge of where things start to get really slow. And the good news is it uses all of that RAM when it first loads. Once the software is loaded and the calculations are done, there's no strain on your PC. Now, here's the best part. There's a promo code. Watch me. Lowercase W-A-R-P-O-F-F. 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 And when you hit apply, what? It takes $500 off the price. All the marketing books told me that I have to offer you something when you come to an event like this. They say if I do that, you'll feel almost obligated to mash that checkout button and put all your incredible information in there. So the promo code is W-A-R-P-O-F-F. No spaces, no caps. Warp off, takes $500 off. Now, lifetime updates. Let me write this down. We'll come back to it because I always want to mention it and go through it. Thank you, Ulyss, for bringing that up. What's included with this? Lifetime updates on Warp. You also get 2 computer licenses. that are transferable, meaning if you get a new computer, no extra money is charged. There is a video training archive available with about 10 easy setup startup classes. It also comes with free installation where over about 30 minutes we'll actually log on to your computer if you like, and Ulyss makes sure it's loaded up and working correctly. What am I forgetting? Free updates, 2 computer licenses, lifetime licenses, no money when you transfer a license from one computer to another one. Free installation. The promo code takes $500 off. We are a company in business for 15 years, and we right now have a 4.8 out of 5 with Trustpilot customers. What about updates after purchase order? Willable? Yes, it is willable and transferable. So if you die, your kid can use it like he just bought it. That's very sexist. Like he or she or them, they, them just bought it. So we have older customers that are in their 70s and 80s and very honest about their lot in life. One customer just bought and he's got terminal cancer, and shown it's transferable to his wife that we're also training simultaneously. He's a trader and he wants her to learn and feels comfortable knowing that she's got a pretty good tool when he passes. So yeah, that's part of that too. Thanks for reminding me about that. Any questions while you got me? I ran a little bit over today, but we had a bunch of really intelligent people asking great questions today, so I wanted to make sure we covered everything. Yeah, he's a good guy too. All you customers, the people who find us, if you're here today, congratulations on being a really great person. Yeah, sure. We get to work with some of the best customers in the world. You've been beaten up by other vendors. You have been through a lot of garbage, and you're really great to work with. And I just want to thank you for that. I have met some of the kindest, most intelligent people in any sphere, and it's been a colorful vocation for me. Okay, let's come over here. I'll get you a screenshot. I got a tool that'll do that. If you hang on 1 minute, do not plot. Okay, so we're going to capture this. These are all Eastern time. Let me share this link. Ken, here we go. Tell me if you can see this link. I'm going to paste it over to you. You see that? Is that all you need? Or do we have to do the afternoon too? Cool. Yeah, sure, hit me. Ken, his first name is all caps, so every time I go to call his name, I go, Ken! That's how I was trained. If you're capital letters, you're shouting. What's your question? Take your time. The Q&A portion today. So you would go to the website. Basically, Ken is the disciple Thomas today. I will not believe until I see the hands and the feet and the holes of them. I shall not believe what you've said to me today. You got to go to the website and you got to take the demo right here. And then can you go through that process and you get access to that stuff. You can also email me. The link, once you've signed up, is right here. I'll paste that in there. Yeah, Anatoly, you could very easily change this from the ES to the MES. They generally follow each other almost completely. No, Ken, you're cool. Thank you. I feel like we're friends, bud. So, Anatoly, can you see that? That's the MES too. Is there a template? Yeah, Gary, I'll send you my template here. Hold on. The one that I've been using anyway. If you'll bear with me. I've named it something very official. It's called AA. Let me load it up here. It would be in Documents, Ninjatrader 8, Templates, Chart. Where is it? AA. There it is. And we'll put that under the BTTFT folder. Here you go, Gary. You just got to download it and put it in that same folder and try applying it. If that doesn't work, email me and I'll make something up for you. Here's the link that I've been using for my my template for these charts. So the settings, if you're an existing customer, are 714.00 with a swing strength of 8. And that's the temp. I use that template to generate all of the charts here today, Gary. Yeah, so we're going to train you. You're going to learn how to take the entries and the exits. Tomorrow, you're going to see the signals for yourself. And if you don't buy today and you try to trade tomorrow, you're kind of a gambler. It's sort of like, I know what the slot machine is going to do tomorrow, and you say, you know what, I like to be surprised. I'm going to put as many quarters in as I want. Don't tell me what's going to happen tomorrow. That's kind of what you're doing if you don't get it today. Well, I only use MetaTrader 17. I don't care. It doesn't matter what platform you're using. Most customers have 2 or 3 trading platforms now, the ones that are profitable. You're locked into one, you're basically locked into someone's marketing machine, right? Change is always difficult. Doing different things is hard. I know I'm 52. Some of you are rolling your eyes right now, and some of you are really rolling your eyes. It's really hard for me, though, to do different things. I'm starting to notice your plasticity, the plasticity of your brain starts to change, and you get scared when new things happen, right? I force myself to choose a different flavor of chicken wing sauce when we go out on Tuesdays with my sons. Sally, I literally sit there and say, I'm going to pick a new one. I'm going to pick a new one. I'm not going to pick the one I always get. It's what we do, right? But then every once in a while, we all look up at each other like, right? Oh my God, this is amazing. It's been there for years, but I've been ordering Mango Bango for a decade. Let me help you. It's fine. Everything I showed you here, I was incapable of influencing. I gave you the signals in advance. I'm a reasonably intelligent person who can form coherent sentences. I don't have an agenda other than I'm really good at what we do. I'm a degreed engineer. I'm from a long line of people who've made stuff that works really well. It's what I was born and raised to do, and I want to help. If you go out tomorrow and you try to trade your 700 tick chart, 1500 volume chart, Willy Wonka Renko bar, and expect different results, you're not going to have them. Well, Gary, I'll email it to you here. Hold on. Thanks for bringing that up. I can take care of that for you. And that's really all I have to say about that. I want to help. I want to be a part of your team and accelerate you to that next level where you're actually getting the results that you want from your trading. But I can't do that until you push that button. Unfortunately, there's a transaction involved. We are not the Salvation Army. All right, Gary, it's in your inbox. I already sent it to you. Woo! Great times today. Sorry it ran over. You're going to get a call from our sales guy, Dave. He's a really super sweet guy. He's going to be able to answer any questions you have and help you onboard if you're not buying right now, which is weird. You should be buying right now, but if not, he's going to talk you off the ledge. And we appreciate you. May the wind be at your back. May the golden sun shine upon your glorious, handsome, beautiful faces. May the valley of adversity rise up to meet you as you walk and move forward. And may the mountains, the obstacles, lay low before you. I wish you peace. I wish you life, community, fellowship, all of the things you want for yourself. We are for you. We are on your side. We are good at this. 15 years, a near perfect score among customers who rate us. Some low ones in there too, Ula. There's a 1-star review. We can't delete them, so they're there eternally. But still, we're working harder every day to get you in front of the trades before the banks push the market you trade up and down without your permission or knowledge. I leave it to you to see if you're going to take advantage of that or continue fumbling around in the dark with your existing system, which could use a little help. And that's all I'll say about that. Those customers that already purchased, I love you. You're crazy. You're amazing. You inspire me to get up, make updates. We've got updates in the program. You've seen them over the last year. That's gotten better and better and better. And I didn't think it could, but with your support and help, we're reaching people and helping them achieve their dreams and goals, get funded with the prop firms, pass all of their qualifying exams with companies like Apex, all because you help support what we're doing here. And so I'm nuts about you. Big platonic kisses all around. Have a great night, and I look forward to those of you signing up. Sally, if I don't see your order tonight when I go to sleep, I'm going to be very, very sad. Tears on my pillow and all that. Please don't make me wonder if we're going to dance together, electronically speaking. I want that last dance tonight. Don't go to bed without buying it. I'll see you later. Good night, everybody.